Hey YouTube, it's Alicia here. I'm back with another story time. I'm going to be giving y'all two stories in one video. So we're going to start off with the first one. So this first story has a lot to do with the sixth grade principal at the time. We're going to call Mr. W. And also has to do with one of my teachers as well, Mrs. P. Okay. So when I was in the sixth grade, everybody in the sixth grade at the time knew who I was. They knew my mother was a teacher over at the fourth grade and stuff. So everybody in the school just always knew, oh, don't mess with her. Her mother works over there at the fourth grade. You probably could get kicked out of school. So kids was kind of like, was very cautious of not to mess with me, not to pick on me. My bullies didn't care and stuff, so they kept bullying me for so long. The only time I would be free from them was in special times. So so about this time, I would take, for my third block, I would take, music. I would literally take music. You know, you have band and you have music. So I took music and stuff like that. All right. That was just one thing. I was coming back from class one day and I decided to cross over. And when I was getting ready to, the principal was like going, no, you can't do that, da-da-da-da-da. And I went to the back of the line because I was the last person, and some of the boys who bullied me said, that's what you get, Alicia, da-da-da-da-da. And he heard my name and he going, okay, and stuff. And so when I walked by and I looked and I saw him and I gave him this look like, you really effed up. I gave him this look like, you effed up. And he like kind of followed me up to my room. And so he hears me and LaDaniel. So y'all now know his name was LaDaniel. That's all I'm gonna say. He heard me and LaDaniel going back and forth, and I said, LaDaniel, you need to watch who you messing with. I'm not the one. And I said, you know what happened last time you got suspended. And I said, don't make me get you suspended again. And so here comes this person's going, no, Liz, you're the one that's going to get suspended. I said, who talking to you? He came at me. So I said, you just sitting there letting him come after and attack me. So all the girls in the class going, yeah, you letting him attack her every time. You don't say nothing and stuff. And then that's when my homegirls going, do you know who her mother is? Her mother can have your job. You will lose your job if you don't know who her mother is. And they going, ha. So then the principal tried to force me to apologize to him. And then that's when the girls going, hold it, you don't know what's been going on. This been going on for a long time. He said, this boy's been bullying her since the first grade. And they go, and she going, no. So then turned out that Mrs. P is sort of kind of like, Mrs. P is sort of kind of like related, well, not related, kind of knows LaDaniel's mother at the time. She knew his mother. She was friends with his mother and stuff. And I said, oh, the only reason you got something to say to me because you're friends with his mother. So everybody kind of figured that out. And I said, do you know who my mother is? She said, I don't give a rat's who your mother is. And I said, my mama works for the fourth grade, over there at the fourth grade. That's where my mom works at. So all the principal now is hearing the girls and me repeating, oh, her mother works for the fourth grade. Her mother works for the fourth grade. Okay. So then the next day, I was late for class. I had to go. I got to school late a little bit and stuff because our bus driver, the sub bus driver went backwards until taking us to school. We was the last ones to go to school, and I had to go in and just tell that, and they said, oh, okay. And he was like asking, and then he goes, Alicia, he said, Alicia, what's your last name? I said, Burton. And as soon as he heard the last name, he going, are you related to Miss Burton at the fourth grade? I said, that's my mother. And he goes, is your father Charlie Burton? I said, yeah. So he always had a nickname for my dad, my late dad. And he go, wait, Hercules is your dad? I said, yeah. He said, no, come around here. We got to talk. So he said, he said, no, I'm going to write you a whole different thing. And so he said, oh, wait. He goes, wait. Charlie, I said, when is your birthday? I said, June 14th. And I went to, and I told him the date and stuff. And so he go, oh my God, I remember when you was born. I remember when you was born. And stuff like that and stuff like that. So he knew my father. He goes, wait, and then he literally persistently to ask me, what's the deal between you and LaDaniel? I said, LaDaniel's been bullying me ever since first grade. I said, the teachers in the first grade just thought it was just petty, but I said, how you explain to your mom where one of your skirts get very bloody and messed up and you get stabbed by somebody who don't like you and stab you in your leg? And he said, he literally stabbed you? I said, yeah, with a pencil. And I said, it's been like this since first grade. And he goes, that's when he said, what's the deal with you and this person? I said, she's always taking his side. She's not always believing and stuff. He said, let me just walk you to class and stuff like that. And I said, she's always nasty and she's attitudes towards me. So it was like, he kept me up in there for 2 blocks and stuff, and like in his office asking me questions, trying to get out what was going on and stuff like that. So he takes me up to my class where I had reading class, and this person said, oh, Mr. Clark, Alicia is kind of skipping. They said she was here, but he said she's been in my office, and he said I need to talk to you. And he goes, look, I know who her mother is. Her mother is a teacher at the 4th grade. And if she wanted to, he left it open for everybody in the classroom can hear it. He said, if she wanted to, she can have you lose your job. So you better start taking her side. If you don't, I already told her, if anything goes wrong, I said, ask her, can you go to the bathroom and come and tell me and stuff. So she now knew, okay, I need to straighten up. Okay. That's with that one. After everything said and done, she like kind of changed. But before she changed, it comes to the second story. So during the same time I was in the 6th grade, it was this teacher named Mrs. C. And Mrs. C was so respectful. She knew I had problems with this guy, with him, and she always would tell the counselor and stuff. The counselor tried to do all she can do to make sure I didn't have classes with him, but it wasn't enough she could do. And Mrs. C always wrote LaDaniel up. That's one of the bullies' names. They bullied me. Because let me just say, I told you I've been bullied by boys, but that's just one of the names. And he bullied me constantly. And so one day she decided, oh, I'm going to take everybody. I had her for a computer. And so we had computer class and stuff like that. And Mrs. C always told Mr. P, was a guy named Mr. P and stuff. And she told him, oh, make sure that Daniel is nowhere near Alicia. That's all she told him. He goes, what's the problem with that? And then she like explained to him, and he go, oh, okay. And then she said, oh, you know who her mother is? They based on the last name, do you? And he looked at it, he go, Burton, not that teacher, Miss Burton over there, the 4th grade, the one that go to Bethel. And she said that's her mom. And then he's like, that's when, like, I'm telling y'all, when certain teachers found out who my mom was, they like starting trying to be nice to me and stuff like that. They was always trying to do stuff for me or giving me little treats and stuff just to be sweet or nice to me and stuff. And I promise you, it's always been like that. So with the second story, this is what's going on with the second story. So like I said, we in there, and like LaDaniel keeps like throwing paper at me. And I just told Mr. P he's throwing paper at me. he kept moving LaDaniel further back in the back, very back of the room. I kept getting paper thrown at me. And I said, can I come to the front, in front of your desk and sit right there? He said, yeah, Alicia, that might help. So once I did that, it kind of stopped. It stopped for a bit. But I got sick and tired. So this is where, when Mrs. P actually really got in trouble. So this is the Mrs. P. And early on, so my mother wrote a letter to Mrs. C and giving Mrs. C permission to sign me out and bring me over to the fourth grade. I had a 12:30 dentist appointment. I had a 12:30 dentist appointment to remove. Not I have had. Let me just say, I have had 4 wisdom teeth 4 times. I had 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. But that's it. But this was the appointment for me to go, and we was going to do x-rays just to see. So at the time, this was like kind of close to the end of the year and stuff like, this was like around April. And I was getting x-rays. Each year, every April for me, they always had to do x-rays for my teeth. All right, so during the time, so this was like every year, every September, they always do x-rays. So about, they said, Ms. Burton, we need you to come in and have Alicia come in we go into the dentist, Dr. W's, office. Just to look, for the long story short, to get into this one, is like, that we realized that I had 4 sets of, I had a set of wisdom teeth. So we just thinking it's just only 1 set and they are at the bottom. All right, he said, we can do them in categories, or we can do them both at the same time. My mom just made the decision, hey, do them both at the same time so we won't have to be worried about it. All right, my mom said, let me see. He said, she said, I can take off on this day. She said, let me see what's going on for the week and stuff like that. And I'll call back and make the appointment. My mom calls back, make the appointment for like the middle of April. Okay. She made it for the middle of April. Okay. All right. And my mom, turns out day before I get my teeth done, we had picture day. So I went on and did my picture day. I went and got my pictures done first. And they said, Miss Clark, why you went on and took Alicia to get her pictures done first? You know how this is supposed to go. And then I said, can I say something, Mr. W? He said, I won't be here. My mom is picking me up. I got to go into my mom's school at 12:30 tomorrow because I have a 12:40 dentist appointment to pull out my 2 wisdom teeth. So as soon as I said I had 2 wisdom teeth, they like, oh, okay. And then Miss Clark said, I talked to Alicia's mom. She wants me to sign her out and bring her over there. Okay, so Mrs. Clark was the only one who was allowed to and stuff. And she told me to have all of my stuff, be ready to come to my office. But just check, let Miss Person know, hey, just say, hey, tell her, are you leaving? Are you coming down to my room? I have to take you to your mom, and like that. And so when I told her that, she kept me in the room, and I said, I got a dentist appointment. Well, your mom can come and check you out. Miss Clark said, Alicia, what happened? And I said, it's her, Miss Person. And Miss Clark come in, she takes me outside the room, and she pulled Miss Person out, and she was like ridiculing her. She said Alicia was just being nice and being honest and let you know, hey, I was here, but I gotta go. And she said, next time Alicia do that, Alicia, mom wrote me. Yeah. So my mom let the principal know, hey, Miss Clark is gonna, that was her Miss C name, Miss Clark. Miss Clark is going to sign her out and let her and bring her to me. He goes, oh, I don't have no problem with that, Miss Burton. Okay. Didn't have a problem with it of her signing me out and bringing me to her. So, and that's what we did and stuff like that. My mom, after the dentist, I was like doped up. We was at Walmart and we run into Miss Clark. All right, Miss Clark told my mom what went down at the school. She said, that woman always got something to say about say always, and so she said, "Oh, it's time for our IEP meeting," and she said, "I want you to have it, and so we all can go come and sit, so I can sit down and talk to this woman." So get down. This woman, this person did not know who my mom was. Till she actually, my mom, it was me, my mom, Miss Clark, me, my mom, me and my mom, Miss Clark, Miss P, and Mr. W. And my mom I had to explain to them what been going on since I was in the first grade with bullying and stuff like that. And like, I told my mom they in the same class as me, and I said, and my mom said, y'all got to get her out of those classes. They said, I don't care what you got to do, get her out of those classes. Well, they wouldn't do. Mr. Clark, Miss Clark said, Miss Burnett, I can try to see what we can do, but I understand, I know the school year is almost over. Is there any kind of way we can just keep her up in there, but try to keep him away from her? He said, Miss Person ain't hardly doing no good job. And my friends, and then like my friend, and she said, I know Alicia friends, and they, if they do see me at the lunchroom, they do let me know what's going on and stuff like that. Or if they see me out and about with Alicia or without Alicia, they're going to tell me and stuff. Long story short, Miss Person was very scared that my mom was going to get her fired. So what ended up happening is Mr. Clark decided, oh, Alicia, I want to do something with you since it's almost a school year. Miss Clark said, let me talk to Mr. W. Y'all, they stood outside. They said, just to make Alicia happy, they said she's going to just mark her as present, and she comes and work in the office during that time. And then when it's time for her to go to lunch, come to art, she'll, because I know they up in there, and they said, and that's when Mr. W said, I'm going to go get your lunch. You can come up in the office, and you can go to the, I'll have you in the back where you can eat lunch, and then you can just stay up in here the rest of the school year to like finish out and stuff. And he got to make my grandma, my grandma was very opinionated and stuff. But when he, like I said, when he found out who my dad was, he was like shocked. He was happy, but then he was like kind of changed his attitude up and stuff. But y'all, that is my bullying stories. How many of y'all has known that the principal or a teacher had an aha moment knowing, oh my God, I think I know who this person's student's parent is. And so, and what was so funny, this Miss P thought she knew my mom, and she didn't and stuff. And she said she's from the she said she was like from the Houston area. And I said, you might not be from the Houston area, but you don't know my mom like that and stuff. And I would be so cocky. To this day, when I remember it, I was so cocky towards Miss Person, but I had to be cocky because one, this woman kept not keeping my bully in check. So let me ask y'all, have any of y'all been bullied? Have any of y'all felt like the bully got away with a lot of things when it comes to bullying you by a teacher? And then do y'all think when you actually reveal who your parent is, you think the administration, the principal or teacher kind of changes afterwards? I noticed that with the principal, and I noticed that with with the principal and stuff. But I just want to see, do y'all think, was I in the wrong for like always telling the principal about the bullies and they always went to ISS? Or did I have to do what was best for me at the time? Until then, y'all, I'm Alicia. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.